Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of General Geekery. As promised, since I'm back in the country, we're going to do this on a regular basis. And with me, as always, is JD.
Hello.
And we actually have a special guest today. We have the myth, the man, the legend himself, Jeffery Lull, who was the first person to discover the retro wave 4, consisting of the Stalker and the Cobra Trooper.
Hi
Jeffrey,
guys.
welcome to the show.
Hi guys.
Hey, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So, how cool is that to have found a G.I. Joe product that nobody else knew existed?
Yeah, I told a couple of my friends that I picked the setup for. There was my one moment in the sun. So, little surprised. Little.
Right? I mean,
Little.
nobody saw any announcement because the Hasbro Fans First Friday thing said that they were going to make an announcement on the retro wave sometime in August, was my understanding. So they didn't say anything about it on Friday. So everybody assumed that there was nothing there, not going to be anything there. And then a few minutes after that, you posted the Cobra Trooper and the Stalker.
And the response was, "Oh, that must be fake." Really?
I got quite a bit of messages saying I made very nice customs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll bet you did.
I feel like most hoaxes that turn out to be real, an awful lot of work went into something that looks authentic. If it's a custom, you say it's a custom, but everything about those match the format of the rest of the retro figures, except, and I can kind of understand people's skepticism, the fact that it's not all just half-ass repaints of things that were already out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the packaging, the lack of decent accessories, and the jankiness of the Cobra Trooper in the package, that screams the retro wave, the previous retro waves. I mean, I looked at those pictures and I'm like, well, the Cobra Trooper looks all squished in there, like the bubble doesn't quite fit, so they just stuffed him in there and glued the bubble down. I'm like, yep, that goes right along with the rest of the retro stuff. If it was a custom job, I would think that they would be packaged better than that.
Well, see, and for me, since I do customs and I do my own card backs, I'm like, I could do that card back. I could even do the blister using the blister from other retro figures, but I couldn't do the little plastic tray the figure is laying in with the accessories. I have
Exactly.
the slightest idea how to make those. So to
Because
me, when I saw that, I'm like, these are not customs, and everybody's lost their fucking mind because
those trays,
the trays are impossible to make.
the trays, you'd have to have some kind of professional equipment and a vacuum molder, because the the trays, like the bazooka that comes with Cobra Trooper, that doesn't exist anywhere in the retro line. So you'd have to find trays that would accommodate that. And that just seems like an awful lot of trouble for without saying that they're a custom, if it was a custom.
And because if I had made those, I would say these are custom. I'd be proud of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, if I did, I definitely would have charged more than make it custom. Would have charged more than what I was charging for online. I mean,
like how many? Okay, so set up the scene. Tell us how you. I mean, obviously you got a huge surprise when you found them, but
yeah, like I said, I live about 3 miles from a Walmart here in Muncie, Indiana, and I work in Newcastle, which is about 25 miles away. So I'll stop at that Walmart in Newcastle, and they seem to have things. I've found a few customs. I got the Cobra Trooper and some of the Fangs and stuff when they first came out, and some Star Wars stuff. So I walk in every day when I go to work. It's like a mile from where I work. So I walk down the aisle, and I didn't see anything unique. But then I walked by and I saw a skid of the Lego toys, and I'll look on the Lego toys to see if there's any new Star Wars or the He-Man stuff that comes out, the brick stuff. And I saw the 2 Hasbro boxes there, so I went and had that asked the gentleman there in the department if I could open these up and see what they are and buy them, and he gave me one of them, and I asked to buy all of them, and then I saw the trooper in the thing, and then I made a quick post, and then everybody just swamped me within like 5 minutes of emails wanting them, and then I got my post taken down because I had it listed in the wrong group. So I went ahead and bought them and asked a couple of my friends later, and then he said there was a big discussion in the other group, which I don't follow as much. So, and then I had the people that bought them. I actually had 3 people back out on me because I sent a picture of the back of them and it was a little blurry, so he thought it was a poor print. So,
yeah, no, that's crazy. Yeah, everybody started. I mean, I'm a member of a bunch of GI Joe groups, so I had yesterday off, so I mean, I just sat around, I had that day off, so I just sat around and just sat on the internet and watched people go, these are fake, these are fake, these are fake, and I'm like, just like the Major Blood figure that was fake.
Years ago, remember when Dollar General had that line of Modern Joes that came out? There was Duke and Shipwreck, and there was a Cobra Trooper and a Snake Eyes and a Storm Shadow. Well, Geyer Viper or Gary Head, he published pictures of those the first, long before Dollar Generals and shit started getting them. Yeah, those.
Yeah, here we go.
And Gary got accused of faking them.
Oh, and that's crazy.
And like you said, just a couple weeks ago, everybody was screaming that Major Blood was a fake. It feels like in the era that we're living in right now, where there is so much misinformation and there is so much, everybody's so divided on everything, and people just choose to believe whatever they feel like they believe, evidence to the contrary or not, or no evidence to the contrary or not. It's like people just assume that if Hasbro hasn't made an official announcement about it, that these things coming out can't possibly be real. But a lot of times, Hasbro's not ready to make the announcements yet.
Right.
Like Retro Wave 4, whatever they were planning to announce in August, these were probably not slated to come out until then. This Walmart probably just got them in early, and they did what most big box department stores did. They got them out, or they got them in stock, and they put them on the shelf. Because how many times do they break street dates? I don't even know if the retro stuff has street dates, because the retro GI Joe line, I have seen 2 of them in a store. Last month I saw Destro in a pack and the bubble was mangled on it. It looked like somebody had just stepped on it. And last week I saw Duke, and that shitty Duke that was a poor excuse for a retro figure.
Yeah.
And I've never seen any other retro figures, so I don't know if the boxes have street dates on them. But if they don't, that's double the reason why the stores are going to put them out. And
I looked on my box. It didn't have any ship date or anything.
Yeah, chances are these things are shipping to Walmarts now, and other stores will start to get them in the next week or 2.
I saw a bunch of posts today, probably half a dozen posts of people finding them all over the country.
Yeah, I haven't been online much today. But I mean, and that had to be quite a thing that you go in and you find stuff that. Now, had you found the other Retro Joe stuff, or is this
this was the only 2 cases I found at that time, but I found the other Joes in the store. The store has.
But you found all the previous ones there too.
Right.
Man, that must be a decent Walmart. Because
I've never seen retro figures.
No, I've seen those too. My Walmart here is the city that I live in. I swear to God, must be some kind of hotbed for scalper activity because I don't find anything on the shelves at most of the stores. Nah, certainly not when it first comes out. Um, but like I said, the retro stuff at Walmart, I've seen Duke and I've seen Destro. I have never seen any of the rest of those retro figures. No, I take that back. I did find Snake Eyes back when he first came out because I bought that one because I had forgotten just how cool that version of Snake Eyes was. But
I got Cobra Commander last week.
Yeah, see, I've never seen hide nor hair of it. So as far as I'm concerned, Cobra Commander, Lady J, the Baroness, uh, Roadblock, Scarlet, those could be internet hoaxes. I could call those fake because I've never seen them in a store.
See, the only reason I had the Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, and the Baroness is Grogan got them for me.
Yeah, I got Snake Eyes the one time because it was there, and apparently I had money burning a hole in my pocket, but I got it. Had forgotten how cool it was. Never saw the rest of them. And as more retro stuff was announced and pictured, I'm like, wow, they're trying. There's no effort being put into these at all.
No. Although I'm gonna say, I would agree with you up to that point. However, somebody posted really decent pictures of the Stalker today, and it's a completely new build. It has swivels in the upper thigh, which I don't think a G.I. Joe figure has ever had.
No. The Cobra Trooper, the pilot that came with the Fang, was a new build. It has the upper thigh swivel.
Okay.
The format of them is much closer. They're Hasbro made figures, but they're much closer to the style or the articulation style of the 4-inch retro figures that Brian is so very not enamored with. And it looks like this Cobra Trooper, at least according to the pictures that Jeffrey, I haven't seen the more detailed ones, but the ones that Jeffrey posted, I thought that was my first thought was that looks like the Fang chopper pilot, but with the Cobra Trooper helmet instead. Am I right about that?
I don't have like I said, a lot of the figures, but this, I guess the guy that messes me the most about the wanting to buy these said that they just did not match any other thing that was out there. So we thought that I took body parts of another one and assembled them. So,
man, that's crazy. And one of the groups I belong to, they put up a post saying this is a public service announcement. These figures are fake. And I'm like, really? Because I'm chatting with the guy that found them right now, and he sent me pictures of it. And I don't claim to be an expert, but I've seen the back and the front and back of the cards, and looks pretty friggin' legit to me.
I mean, I even showed one guy the receipt with the UPC codes matching, and I guess the question that he had to me was that I found them at like between 1 and 2 Eastern time on a skip, and they would have been in the stores or on eBay. They would have been out a lot earlier in the day.
Yes, that just blows me away that people would rather say this is fake and that you're lying than like, holy shit, here's some new figures we didn't know were here.
Well, that logic doesn't track for me because at least the local stores here, Walmart, Target, and they don't like a lot of times if I go to Walmart first thing in the morning, they don't have anything new out.
Well, and remember the time that you and I went to Target and we got our Baroness figures? That was middle of the day.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't that it was like lunchtime?
Yeah.
And we showed up and there were Baronesses and Gung Ho's and Cobra Commanders and Red Ninjas and yeah, that's true. Hang on. All right, cat, get out of there.
So and the other thing that I was gonna say, as far as posts, I've never ever seen somebody post something like that and actually have it turn out to be fake.
Yeah. I mean, Yeah, all the people that backed out on me quickly wanted me to resell them after I've already sold them to someone else. So I got a lot of apologies. So
Yeah, good. I'm glad people were apologetic because I think to me that's just a dick move, is calling you a liar instead of saying, "Oh, hey, congratulations on being the first person to find this," because I think that is fantastic. I think that's kind of like a collector's dream, is to be able to be the first person to find something that you didn't know even existed. I mean, JD, have you ever found something like that?
No, and if I had, um, I would probably be called a liar, which would be fine because honestly, a lot of times, sometimes just jealousy, and
Yes.
sometimes a lot of times it's because people are just in shock and they can't believe that they're looking at something that nobody knew was actually coming out. And if you look at the retro line so far, their track record is shit for quality control or innovation. And Stalker and this Cobra Trooper are the first ones to actually offer more new than old.
Yeah, agreed.
Jeffrey, have you
I love
opened
them.
them? Do you still have them? Have you opened them?
I I've not opened them. I sold. I got one set for my friend. I sold the 4 sets to pay for my set. That's what I do. I'm not a big scalper. I got a couple bucks a piece off of them to pay for my set, and I've got the other stuff ready to ship out to the
Well,
4.
yeah. Oh no, I'm not accusing you of scalping anything. I just meant, do you still have them? Like, do you have them? And are you planning to open it? You got to be planning to open them.
I don't plan on opening them. I usually keep a lot of my stuff in bubbles. If I get an extra set, I will.
That hurts. It hurts. It
See,
hurts my soul. Of course,
I'm
I
kind of the
open
opposite of
99% of everything I buy. So
yeah, it depends for me because I mean, like half of my collection's on the card and then half of my collection's loose. I mean, you can see behind me that's my carded GI Joe collection, and then I card all of my customs.
well, what I was Jeffrey, do you have them right now? Can you give us a detailed look at Stalker? Because whatever it is, I want that figured out. I figured I didn't look like a 25th anniversary repaint from the picture that you posted. And like I said, those detailed ones at Brian, I haven't seen those. It definitely did not look like a 25th repaint because the 25th figure needed serious help. But I couldn't decide what parts they actually used. I kind of figured maybe they were Pursuit of Cobra parts, but Brian, you're saying they're definitely not that. These things aren't new.
Yeah,
Give me a
the
second.
upper and
Just give me a
the
second.
stalker is a lot bigger too. Somebody posted a picture of it with next to the stalker figure, the 25th anniversary stalker figure, and it's a head taller than the 25th anniversary figure.
Wow, the 25th figure was on the short side because the torso was stumpy on it. But I
Yeah,
do believe that Jeffrey left. I'm guessing he's going to get them. I just wanted to see a closer look. Because dude, I would be so excited if I found something that nobody else had gotten yet. I would be excited.
absolutely.
Um,
Yeah, the people are definitely posting. There's at least I'm just scrolling real quick through my Facebook feed. There's another one. Here's one. Yeah, see now, so that's like the 4th and 5th post I've seen where people.
So there are more people that are finding them in the store now.
Yeah, here's another one. So that's no, I've seen that post before. So that's still like 5. Yeah, I found the.
All right, let me turn this around here so you guys can see this.
Oh yeah, let's have a look at that.
Oh,
Sweet.
all right, Jeffrey, do me a favor. When you're holding it up, say something about it because this way the camera will pan over to you when we post the recording.
Okay, so I'm looking at the back of it. The order of the pictures is a little different than the other figures. That's why another person thought it was fake because this one shows Destro, Cobra Commander Duke, and Lady J, and these two, and then on the other ones, and then Stalker, then Trooper. Those were not on any of the other pictures.
Right.
for the
So,
order.
okay, it looks like the rifle that Stalker comes with was the one from the 25th line. But you're right. Oh, that's Stalker. Oh, that is so very not
All right.
a previously existing
Yeah, let him
sculpt.
talk because it's focused on you, JD.
Sorry.
Yeah. Hold it back up there for us, Jeffrey, and pull it back just a little bit. There we go. Right there. Yeah, I think it's still focused on JD.
You got it?
Yes. Here we go. Awesome. Very, very
It's
cool.
perfection. That is gorgeous. That is definitely an all new sculpt. That is so cool. I want that figure. I can't believe it. I want one of the retro figures.
Actually, the guy that posted the comparison pictures is a buddy of mine that comments on just about every custom I've made. So I know they're not fake because I know that guy for sure. So I mean, obviously we're past that whole fake stage, but right now. But JD, I just sent you the picture of the comparison. But that picture is was taken by Michael Brown, who is a big fan of my work and a good friend of mine.
Oh man, that's cool.
Yeah.
Hey Jeffrey, can you hold up the trooper again? Sorry, I saw that you had it, but we were talking. No, the Cobra Trooper.
Oh, sorry, I grabbed the wrong one.
No, that's all right.
So I saw a couple people comment on why the green bazooka, and then somebody else posted that there was a J.C. Penney set that came out, I think 83 or 84, with a Cobra Trooper that had a green bazooka. So I think it's an homage to the J.C. Penney set.
You know what? I love when the teams at Hasbro make nods at the history of the line like that. I was unaware of that. I mean, I know a lot of GI Joe trivia, but I had no idea. I don't even know if that I knew that JCPenney ever had an exclusive set. I know Sears had a bunch of exclusive stuff, yeah. but I love that Hasbro in this line decided to pay tribute to an obscure thing like that from the past just because they could. That's so cool. That's such a love note to the original toy line.
Well, it is.
From the people working on it now.
I looked at it, and the bazooka is almost a spitting image of that particular one.
Okay, so wow, that's fantastic. So did the original Cobra Trooper in that set, did it have Zap's bazooka? Or was it different altogether?
No,
yeah,
it was it looks like Zap's bazooka, but I mean, he had like 3 different ones.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, was it one of those versions of Zap's bazooka? Because yeah, he had. I do believe his bazooka came in 3 very distinct sculpts. But
and so, I'm going to shoot JD a picture of the set because I've got it here. So, just out of curiosity, Jeffrey, how long have you been collecting GI Joe?
I've always collected figures. I was more of a Star Wars figure person, and then I, go in my group or locally, I Star Wars toys, and then I come to find out that somebody offered me some GI Joe stuff, and I found some pretty big collections, and so it's just kind of gone from there. So it got me back into collecting GI Joe stuff. I didn't have much as a child.
Gotcha. So how long have you been collecting then?
Ooh, I still have my toys from when I was little, but I've been really collecting for about 6 years.
Nice.
So I found just about every GI Joe figure out there, and traded off some of the harder to find ones, and I found a couple flags, a couple Terradomes. I found some really nice collections. So a lot of people have a lot of collections from me. So I'll trade it all for my stuff. I don't have a lot of room, but I've got some nice carded stuff. I got the first 82 to 85 complete that I kept, and after that, I kind of got rid of some. I had the, some of the harder stuff to find. But
right on. That's pretty cool. I think that the best, like, oldest figure I have, and I've like stumbled upon one collection, and it was the collection of friend of the family that had I got 4 carded figures. The cards are beat to hell, but he had a 82 Snake Eyes that was just in premium condition. So that's like the coolest, oldest figure that I have, because I didn't have that. I didn't have a version 1 Snake Eyes when I was a kid. I had just missed that wave. I didn't get into it until the second wave of figures came out.
So, all right. So more with your history on the line, Jeffrey. So you didn't have a lot of it when you were a kid, but you were aware of it. Obviously, you had some of it.
Yeah.
So were you more of a comic book guy or more of a cartoon guy, or were you like me and you liked both because they both had merit?
I had some. I'm a little bit older, so I had some of the action team figures.
Oh,
more of those. Then I got into the Star Wars, and the time Joe was out in '82 and '83. Obviously in high school, so sports took a little more of my time. So I didn't really have a lot then. I did get some He-Man and some Thundercats and stuff, but so I was ashamed to say that I never watched all the GI Joe series until I got back into collecting about 5 years ago. So,
oh, nothing to be ashamed of. I was just curious because honestly,
I haven't seen all the cartoons, so definitely.
Well, I'm considerably younger than Brian is.
Yes.
Like I was in like elementary school and he was graduating high school or something. So
I think you're 8 years younger than I am.
Yeah, I don't know, something like that. But honestly, at this point, it feels like I'm all right. Some days I feel like I'm older than you, but whatever. We're gonna say, because I was 3 when I got my first Joes because my dad went to the PX at Fort Benning and he bought me rock and roll. So I know I had Flash and I had the Wolverine tank and I had Scarlet. I don't think I had Snake Eyes again till later when he was a swivel arm figure. And there were things like the mobile missile system with Hawk. I didn't know that existed until I was like 12, and I had some collectors like a Lee's Action Figure Digest or a Tomart's guide that had pictures of the early Joe stuff, and I didn't. Hawk had been in the comic books because I was about 8 or 9 when I started reading the comics, and Hawk was there at the beginning, but that never made a whole lot of sense to me until a couple years later when I got that it was Lee's or Tomart's, and I'm like, oh, Hawk was there in the toy line in the beginning, but he came with that mobile missile system, which I didn't know existed when I was a kid. But
it's kind of interesting. We've had that conversation about stuff that we didn't know existed until the internet was a thing.
Yeah, because there were things like the Sears, that Missile Command set with the cardboard. I didn't know that existed till Yo Joe on the internet. You were
I found one of the Missile Command Sears exclusive sets, and I didn't even know what it was. So I mean, I got rid of it really cheap. So
oh man,
part of the learning.
I feel like that's one of those things that goes for a lot of money now, especially because the original set was it cardboard or paperboard or it was a fold out set.
Cardboard. So it was cardboard. I got it in a lot of empty boxes I bought, and I don't know a lot about all the weapons and stuff that I had to learn, and I found it, and I'm happy the guy got it. It's in the prize in his collection, so it's not a big deal. But
right, I mean, hey, somebody has it. You didn't want it. You didn't need it. That Stalker. I was looking at that comparison picture. I need that Stalker. The head sculpt is awesome. the web gear is new and different, and damn it, I want that. So the original Cobra Trooper, there it is, the green bazooka. That is such a cool trivia fact.
I know. I thought that was. I thought that I'm like, why does he have a green bazooka? And then somebody posted, and they're like, does anybody see the homage to the J.C. Penney set? And I'm like, oh, dude, that's awesome.
That is awesome. So you didn't watch the cartoon growing up. You didn't read the comics, but
I read the comics.
Okay, so you did read the okay, all right. So
yeah, I did read the comics.
All right, so tell who are your favorite Cobra characters and who are your favorite Joe characters? And it doesn't have to be just one. I'm just curious. Like,
yeah, you throw them as many out there as you want.
Obviously, Snake Eyes, and then just I kind of Zartan.
Oh yes,
that's one of my.
You got Zartan life in JD now.
Zartan's my favorite bad guy in all of fiction ever. So yeah, kindred spirits there, sir.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say you got a friend for life in JD.
So
hey guys, I checked my phone and I got like 4%. So if I duck out on you, I'll try to get it charged again, and I apologize.
Yeah, no worries.
So we got a few minutes left.
No, that's cool. No, Jeffrey, you know what? Then I'll say thank you for joining us to talk about this.
Normally our shows go way long and people are like, dude, I really need to go. So we're almost at an hour. So that's quite all right. We were extremely glad to have you on the show. And just like, I don't care what anybody says, you will always be the guy that found those first. So congratulations, man.
Hey, I'm going to go check my other Walmart here in town in the next day or so. If I find a Stockbridge, your guys's.
Yes, sir, you are my hero. Whether you find one or not, you're my hero just for looking, because that's so cool. Because
you're my hero for finding something first. That, to me, that's what I'm jealous of, is finding something first.
That is such, talk about bragging rights.
Absolutely.
And you know what? And honestly, it got called a fake. You got accused of faking it because you did it first, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
That's like a collector's pedigree there.
Absolutely. We won't call this wave 4. This is now Jeffrey's wave.
Yes. All right. I'm going to call it that.
Yes, we are.
But yes, Jeffrey, thank you for joining us as a guest on the show. If more retro stuff comes out later, or if you just want to come back on the show at some point and shoot the shit with us, let us know. We're happy to have returning guests.
Yep. Just send us a PM. And
appreciate it, guys. You guys have a good one.
You too.
All right. Take care. You too. Thanks.
Bye.
All right, man. That was awesome.
That was cool. So, all right. So, dude, people just suck. Honestly, I don't know why. Like you said, instead of celebrating or being shocked and being taken aback and enjoying the fact that somebody found these toys that nobody knew was coming out, they immediately jump to, oh, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
The state of the world today sucks. I never even considered anything like that. I just saw those pictures and I thought, well, wait, there's more retro stuff. I thought, because we hadn't heard anything, I thought Duke and Cobra Commander were the last of them.
Well, you know what I said? Well, I didn't post this because I knew it would have just been inflammatory. I was going to say, if these turn out to be fake and whoever made these had used my YouTube videos on how to make custom cards and they didn't give me credit, I was going to be pissed.
And you would have had a case for that too, because frankly, a lot of your carded customs look better than the retro cards. The retro cards are weird. They're flimsy.
I don't get that.
Well, because when I found Destro last month, like I said, the bubble was in sad shape, and I picked it up. The card was folded, like where the edge of the bubble
Yeah.
connects to the card where it's glued down. It was like that whole thing was just folded straight over, almost like somebody found it there, couldn't buy it for whatever reason, and just got mad. So they just destroyed
I've
the
seen
card.
posts where people are doing that. I
I
think
mean,
potentially intentionally to ruin those cards.
yeah,
And when you think about it, somebody else said this when the first wave of these came out is the in about 10, 15, 20 years from now, these are going to go for insane prices because the cards are so flimsy that when you find one of these in mint condition, it's going to go for a premium. And I think they're right.
I think so too. Because if you look at the original vintage carded figures, sure, if you want to, you can mess them up. It didn't take much. But these new cards, they remind me less of, because like I said, I picked Destro up because I wanted to get a good look at it. What did it look like versus the 50th anniversary figure? The first thing I noticed when I picked this bent up card was it felt less like picking up a carded Joe, even the 25th era carded Joes, and more like picking up like a cereal box.
Yeah, it's a weird. I mean, so anybody that hasn't seen my videos, what I do for my cards, I actually have one here. So what I do for my cards is I print my stuff out on. I take it to a professional printer. So the card itself is printed on 100-pound silk paper, which is as thick as I can get it that will go through a commercial printer. That's as thick and it's semi-gloss. So it's as thick and as semi-gloss as I can get it without, that's the best my printer can do. And then I trim it down and I spray glue it to a comic book backing board. So,
Well,
I mean, these are pretty durable cards. I mean, JD has one of my carded customs.
I have two of them, sir.
Yeah, so yeah, I forgot I carded the Cadet Deming.
Yes.
So, I mean, JD can do comparison on what one of my customs feels like to a regular one, and I think they're, I actually have a vintage card here, and I think
I forgot you got
mine is a
carded
little
Ludo.
bit thicker than the
So,
vintage cards.
but you've got a vintage one right there. It doesn't feel like a cereal box, right?
No, it does not. Well, I mean, this does, but the card's been is.
I was gonna say it's seen better days, but I just
You know what they're like? They're like Fun School cards.
yeah, you know what? You're right, because those were.
Because I have one of those here too. Let me grab that.
Yeah, you're right, because while they were cardboard or they were paperboard, they're more like the paper than the board.
Yeah, here's one of the Fun School cards.
Yeah,
And, there's.
yeah. You know what? I would say that the retro Joe cards are heavier than that, but not by much.
Yeah, not by much, because I don't have any of the retro cards because Grogan sent the figures loose to me because he sent the figures loose in the bubble because I needed the bubble, specifically the blister from the retro card to card my
for snow job.
Snow job because he has those fucking long skis.
I don't.
Which is
So I had picked up Destro. I mean, I never considered buying Destro. I've got the 50th version, but
I mean that's the only one that I need because the 50th anniversary stuff didn't show up here.
And had the card.
I got one of the guys in the group saw me post that yesterday, and he's like, "I got a beat up card." I'm like, "Sold."
All right, now you see, when I found it, I know at the time you said you weren't much for the retro figures, but honestly, it was in such bad shape that I figured that if you were just going to keep it, that it wasn't going to be a display piece. But I don't, and it was kind of one of those things that I picked it up and I looked at it and I put it down, and then I walked through the store and I thought about it some more, and I'm like, well, what if I just got it for an opener? Now, I mean, this was a while. I was shopping, so probably about 45 minutes later, maybe half hour, 45 minutes later, after ruminating on it, of course I went back and it was gone, which of course it was.
Yeah.
But it wasn't one of those things that I was initially going to get. I figured that if anything, if I decided to get it, it would be more like just to put up a comparison between it and the 50th version, the same way I put up comparison pictures of the 25th crankcase that came with the Ostriker, the Target Ostriker, and the 50th version, just to show that they were radically different figures. Where Destro's the same figure, but with a different paint job.
I understand the retro Destro is the same buck as the 50th.
Yes. The parts are all the same, I believe. But it's got a more detailed paint. No. I think it's got a closer to the cartoon style paint job with the gray boots and everything. Where the 50th version was closer to the vintage styling, so it was pretty much all black and red with the exposed chest and the silver paint for the head. But the only other one I found was Duke, and I found it last week before I left for my trip to Colorado, and I never entertained the idea of picking it up.
See, I want the chest harness on that Duke. I need that for a custom.
Well, here's my hang up with that. Firstly, the 25th Duke had a bandolier that would have been just fine.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure what they were going to do there. If you're going to include the chest harness, well, include the jump pack that was the jump jetpack.
Oh, yeah.
That was included with, because there was a 25th Duke in a mint green shirt that was like the same color as the dress shirt from the Army Class A uniforms from about 20 years ago. The shirt on that figure was that color, but it included the harness and the jump pack and the American flag.
Yes.
So that you could kind of recreate the last, the end of the opening sequence from G.I. Joe, the movie.
Yes.
Where Duke stands on top of the crown of the Statue of Liberty, plants the flag, holds the flag, and all the Joes have the jump packs on because they flew up to the top of the statue.
Right.
So, but this retro Duke doesn't include any of the extra gear, so it's just got this weird cross-strapped chest harness.
The chest harness, I'm not positive. I have the figure behind me. I'll look in a second. I'm pretty sure it's the chest harness for 25th anniversary hit and run.
Yes, it is, because Duke came out and then they reused that harness from hit and run for that what was it, the Big Bad Toy Store 7-pack?
I may have one of those then that I am not aware of, but I want that chest harness because I think it'll make a good chest harness for I want to do a female Star Viper.
Yes, it will work for that. But
here comes puppy. Oh, hi, Isabella.
Oh, there's the birthday girl.
Yep. Just turned 6. Holy crap.
Now, how long have you had the dog? How long has she been with you for?
She was probably about a year when we got her.
Yeah, I was gonna say she wasn't a puppy, but she was young.
No, she was probably closer to 6 months.
Wow, I can't believe you had the dog for more than 5 years now. Oh, there's Alice.
There's Alice. Oh, come here. Don't pee on me. When I lift you up, there's the one.
Hi, Alice. Yeah, long time no see. Long time no get barked at.
Right. And it's pretty much everybody's birthday because we got Alice in December and she was 6 months old. And we think Jack was born in June as well.
So yeah, okay. Jack is the only one that hasn't come to visit us.
And he won't.
No. But so yeah, I found that retro Duke, but I have never seen the rest of those retro figures, and you've never even seen those.
No, I have not. Hey, get out of that.
For all the complaining that people did, no, I take that again. I found retro Snake Eyes, and I don't know why my brain keeps glossing over that, and I keep forgetting about it. Almost like I've blocked out that they just repurposed a 25th era sculpt for a retro. Never
Yeah.
mind. I'm not. Whatever.
And see, what really irritates me is that some of these figures are decent bucks, and I would buy the shit out of that Snake Eyes because it's a fantastic buck for customs. I would buy the shit out of Lady J because that's a fantastic buck for female customs. This Stalker looks pretty decent.
As the only person who didn't mind the paint job on the 50th anniversary, the 50th version of Lady J. I know the eyes were a little janky, but I didn't mind them. The retro figure was a repaint of the 50th version with better paint on the eyes. And honestly, if I'd seen one in the store, I would have bought one. There was no chance I was going to see them. As much as people bitched about the laziness of the selection for the retro stuff, because a lot of them are just repaints of stuff that they previously released. Like I said, Lady J and the Baroness were in a 2-pack in the 50th line, and then they released them separately for the retro line, the same versions. And as much as people bitched about those, you can't find them. They're not in the stores, and they go for a bunch of money if you buy them on eBay.
Yeah, so, somebody was trying and I think succeeded in selling the Scarlet retro figure for $60. It's a horrible figure.
Oh, well, I get it though. The appeal of it is that it's mostly a new figure. But it's not good. I mean, at least with her and at least with Roadblock, at least they were trying. There was something new. They weren't great, but there was something new. Duke was just lazy. Now, I'm shocked though, because if you look at the retro lineup, the figures that have come out, and you look at the classified line, a lot of the character selections mirror the classified line.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Flint hasn't come out in the retro line.
I'm surprised Zartan hasn't.
Well, I'm surprised Zartan and Firefly too for that
Firefly,
matter.
Yeah.
But the same way, because the first wave of because most of the retro figures have classified counterparts. Storm Shadow kind of does, sort of. But at some point they're gonna make an original homage to Storm Shadow in the classified line. It's only a matter of time. But there's a couple of, but now I'm wondering if there's a retro Stalker, does that mean, or is it possible that means that Stalker will show up in the classified line? I sure hope so.
Yeah. I think that's a possibility. Speaking of the classified line, we haven't had a chance to talk about the Fan First Friday reveals. Of course, I'm not the biggest classified fan, but it's still G.I. Joe. It's still something we discuss here. So let's talk about what they revealed. I think the biggest one, the biggest one, that's very subjective. So I think, to me, the coolest one that they revealed, even though it's really irritating, because it's the 4th version of this figure in this line, and it's the Roadblock, because it's an homage to the very first Roadblock.
I'll say this about it. Firstly, I was impressed with the whole look of it. It shares most of the parts with the previous classified Roadblocks, but you can't tell because the paint job is far superior. And I don't mean it's far superior because it's an homage to the original Roadblock. I don't mean that. It's subtle. And it looks good on that buck, but the tank top that he's got on, it's a new sculpt. Yeah. Like, that part of it is a new sculpt. With the the LCE straps and the camouflage tank top. That's new, but it looks good. But he's got a brand new head sculpt.
Yes.
And it looks a lot closer to classic Roadblock. He's got the soul patch.
Yep.
He's got the mustache. He no longer has the chin strap beard, which was fine. I didn't mind that on the classified figure, but this looks like a tougher sculpt. Somebody pointed out that it looks an awful lot like actor Delroy Lindo. I can't disagree. I can't even unsee that now, because it really does. But if you know, people, I've seen a lot of bitching that it took 4 roadblocks for them to get it right. But I look at it this way. The beginning of the classified line was a lot of a training ground for what they were doing.
Yeah.
Every time Hasbro launches a new sculpt format or a new size or a new scale or a new look for G.I. Joe, the first wave or two has a lot of hit and miss attempts. It's got a lot of weird, there's articulation changes or there's sculpts that are janky
choices.
Yes.
Accessory choices.
A lot of
No, that's a good point.
It's a big mixed bag. And the fact is, people can bitch and complain about, oh, it's a 4th roadblock, but somebody else pointed this out. Somebody typed out this big long response that I thought hit the nail on the head. What if the first version of classified Roadblock had come out as an homage to the first one, but it had issues? People would have bitched that they didn't do it right, but instead they did a bunch of different things with the initial classified stuff, so that when they go back and they redo some of these characters to give them more classic style aesthetics, they're going to get them closer to right than maybe they did initially.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because classified Roadblock was more of an homage to Roadblock version 2 with the flak vest than it was to the original Roadblock.
Well, and I think the Cobra Island Roadblock was more of an homage to Heavy Duty than it ever was to Roadblock.
You know, people always say that, and I don't see it.
I do.
Because, well, Heavy Duty never had.
Well, there's not the vintage one. There's.
Oh, you mean? Oh, wait a minute. Yes, it's a lot closer to the Sigma 6.
Yes.
Heavy Duty than. Maybe that's what people are talking about.
I think so.
People complain, but the one response, the very level-headed response I read was, they're trying different things with the classified line so that by the time the line finds its groove, there won't be as many things to bitch about.
So then the next choice, which I think is, I won't say it's a bad choice. I just think it's an interesting character choice, and that's Barbecue, because the figure looks nice. But to me, with the diversity that's in the G.I. Joe line and the characters that are considered iconic and cornerstones of the line, I would not put Barbecue in that. Barbecue would not be my first choice to put in that category.
I only have one issue with that Barbecue figure. That it does not have an unmasked head sculpt with his red, vaguely fro haircut from the with his poofy 80s red hair.
I got a fix for that. You get the Marvel Legends arcade figure, and I'll bet that'll look pretty cool on that.
I'm gonna have to look that up, because the last time I saw a picture of that arcade figure, he looked like that douchebag that played Lex Luthor in Batman versus Superman. And who's that? I want to say it's Michael Cera. It's not Michael Cera.
No,
I always mix him up
right.
with the other guy. Oh, damn it. The guy that played the guy from Facebook. Whatever. His name.
No, I can't
whatever.
think of the guy's name either.
But I mean, if I had to complain about barbecue, it would be that. I am not going to complain about the character selection. I applaud that.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. I just think it's an odd choice is all.
No, I mean, I can see where you're coming from, but you know me. I like character variety, and I like when they put out obscurities like that.
Jesse Eisenberg. Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay.
That was going to bother me. I had to look that up, and we can't do a geek podcast and be like, I don't know.
Yeah, basically. Well, I'm glad you looked it up because I went so far down the rabbit hole on not being able to remember his name. I forgot that I could have just looked it up. I do not mix the actor up with Michael Cera.
Yeah.
I mix the names up. But yeah, he played Lex Luthor strangely in Batman versus Superman.
I like that. I thought you did a good job.
And I don't. Yeah, the arcade figure, I thought it looked like that, but I could be wrong. Arcade, that's a weird character.
The only reason I say that is I saw somebody post a custom yesterday, and they used a different head sculpt, which I liked their head better. The custom was better than the original figure. So I was looking at that. I was looking specifically at the two heads, and this was after the announcement. And I was like, you know what? I bet that arcade head would look good on that barbecue body. And then the other announcement.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Arcade comes with interchangeable heads.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. The only version that I'd seen a picture of up until now had the Jesse Eisenberg hair. Oh.
See, tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. The alternate head has a smirk on his face.
Yeah.
And it's got the floppy red hair. Yeah.
And then the other announcement, which
that's a
I think is kind of cool, is the first. No, I guess it's not the first, because the Baroness was the first vehicle. Is the G.I. Joe Ram with Breaker?
I need it.
You won't.
It's going to be a Target exclusive.
It is going to be Target exclusive.
I don't care. I need it. Maybe it'll be easier to find than the Baroness. I don't know. I don't know so much if the exclusivity of the Cobra Island Target line is the reason why it's so difficult to find and so expensive.
I think it is.
But I also believe some of the scarcity has to do with the character selections. The Baroness, the Cobra Trooper, and Beachhead are insanely popular characters that would be highly in demand whether they were exclusive or not. Because there's a non-exclusive version of the Cobra Soldier, and you can't find that either.
Yeah.
If there was a non-exclusive version of Beachhead, it would be difficult to find because it's Beachhead. Because at some point, somewhere along the line, Beachhead became the A1 avatar character for the 1986 line. I don't know when that happened, but it did happen because Beachhead even got a Funko Pop.
Oh, wow.
But so those characters would be popular anyways. So, but the Baroness, they went down a strange, and they included a bike with her. She didn't need it, but it's popular.
But I liked the bike. I thought it was cool.
Well, and it was cool. But this Breaker figure comes with the Ram, and I need it because it's the Ram. Even when we did our picks for our favorite vintage vehicles, I picked the Ram as one of mine because it's a classic. It's a military motorcycle, but it's a classic. And I love that we're getting that it's getting the 6-inch treatment. And I love the Breaker's coming with it. Breaker, as far as I'm concerned, is almost as far outside the box for character selection as Barbecue is.
I'm going to argue that just because he was one of the original 13.
Well, no, I'm not arguing it simply because if you think of a Joe line, Breaker's not one that you usually think of because he doesn't usually get updates. Yeah, he got 25th updates, and he got comic pack versions, but the 25th, most of the early line got updates, and the comic packs basically used the first 25 issues. So, of course, a lot of those characters were going to get releases.
Yeah.
But Breaker is not one that I expected to see in the classified line. And I am elated with that. I figured we'd see Stalker. And I think there's a decent chance we'll see maybe Flash or Grunt, one or the other. I didn't really see the rest of the original 13 making an appearance, so I'm elated the Breaker is there.
I think the only other surprise for me for the Fan First Friday is that so far, and I mean this doesn't mean anything, but so far every character that has been on the box art has gotten a figure, with the exception of Alley Viper. So I was kind of surprised they didn't announce the Alley Viper. I mentioned that on one of the internets, and somebody said that they still thought it was in the pipeline. So I mean, who knows?
Well, okay.
But I was kind of surprised that they didn't announce that.
Hang on. When I said that Flash or Grunt would get it, I meant Rock and Roll. I don't think Flash is getting a 25th version. That's an awful lot of new tooling for a character that very few people, in the grand scheme of things, care that much about. Rock and Roll, I do believe, has a chance of getting an update.
At this point in time, I think it's anybody's game.
No, I think it is too. And especially because now that we've got the bearded head sculpt for Breaker, there's a good chance that Rock and Roll could be the blonde version. And that doesn't mean that they have to be a repaint. They could go with a whole new sculpt. They just have
the tooling to do it.
But I do believe, and I've said from the beginning that if the original 13 outside of Stalker, Scarlet, and Snake Eyes were going to get classified, again, Stalker hasn't gotten it yet, but I think he will at some point. But I think the Rock and Roll has a better chance than the rest of them. I would have never guessed it with Breaker.
So here's my big next concern. I don't think anybody's thought about this yet, is that these are Wave 4 for both the classified and retro lines. Wave 4 is usually where the wheels fall off the wagon for Hasbro. In any line. Just about any line.
Well, okay, technically.
Especially G.I. Joe.
Well, okay. That often proves true for wide releases, but I don't know that I would count this as Wave 4 of classified, because the only one that's getting a wide release that was announced yesterday was Roadblock.
That's going to be an Amazon exclusive, somebody said.
Okay, but it's still okay, but it's not a Target exclusive.
True.
So even if it's an Amazon exclusive, I mean, now Pulse is carrying, okay, in theory, Pulse is carrying the exclusives. You can't get them through Pulse, from what I understand. I haven't tried. I can't be bothered.
From everybody that I've seen post, the Firefly was gone in less than a minute. The Major Blood lasted about 5 minutes.
Well, all right. So if these are exclusives, are they technically Wave 4? I don't know.
Yeah. We're reaching that point where product has been out long enough that Hasbro's distribution is sucked. People get pissed. Normally the problem has been that the distribution has sucked so bad that the pegs get clogged with the previous waves that nobody orders the next wave. This has not happened with this because nobody can find these fucking figures.
Because if we're going by waves, I think Flint, Lady J, and Zartan, I think they're a wave. And those aren't, none of these figures are clogging pegs.
Yeah, exactly.
I have seen pictures of people where they post screenshot or shots of what people have at their stores, and there are stores where some of these are building up, but that's not the vast majority of stores. A lot of places can't keep these things in stock. They're getting
like
them.
Everybody, and every time I see somebody post a picture like that, there's, let's say, half a dozen of this particular figure on the post. If you read the comments, there's equal amounts of people saying, "Hey, pick that up for me."
Yeah, exactly.
So again, these things, boy, Hasbro, man, they cannot. It's one way or the other. They cannot nail the distribution to save their fucking life.
No, I mean, okay, they did say that there's going to be a re-release of some of the Cobra Island things, which is good because those figures desperately, direly, absolutely need re-releases. And I don't think they're going to get re-releases to flood the market, but they're starting with Major Blood. They said they're shipping in solid 6-figure cases. They said they're going to be shipping more of them, which is great. I know you traded for one. I haven't found
it should
one.
Be here tomorrow, hopefully.
I mean, in theory, yes, we should be able to find them more. Will we be able to? I don't know. Maybe it's anybody's guess. But I'm kind of hoping. But this is great. If they can figure out a way to get Major Blood out there, maybe we don't have to worry so much about not being able to get Barbecue or Breaker and the Ram. Maybe that does mean that more people will have a chance at finding the Baroness, Beachhead, and that Cobra Trooper, and Roadblock again. Because as much as people said Roadblock warmed the pit, no, he didn't. He didn't at all.
Respectively, perhaps.
Yeah, but it's not like he hung around in droves. He didn't.
No.
Yeah, I feel like
they must be doing what Walmart's doing and opening it up to third-party sellers, because there's weird stuff on the Target site right now.
No, yeah, Target's got all kinds of weird shit on there. Yeah, they don't, and a lot of their stuff, if you look at it, will say not available online. But then if you click on it, it will also say not available at your. It will say if it is or is not available at your nearest Target stores. So if you're looking for household goods, a lot of that stuff you actually can't order from the website, because it's only available in the stores, which is really weird. But
but they've got like the exclusive Happy Hogan Mark 21 set up for pre-order. So I mean, it's the stuff's available.
How much is that set?
50.
Yeah, no.
I need to get a better job before I can start throwing down the cash for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, one of the things with the classified line, like you said, the Alley Viper has not been announced. I do believe it's coming. I don't think it would have been in the package art if it wasn't. I have a feeling it was supposed to be available earlier, and there was probably some kind of weird snag with it, or they shifted it to being a store exclusive. And I don't think it's a Target exclusive, because if it was, I think we would have seen it by now.
Somebody, I mean, it's all rumored speculation right now, but I posted something like that a couple of days ago, and the person seemed to, I mean, who knows? I don't think anybody knows anything.
No,
but they seem to think that it was going to be a Target exclusive.
Well, if that's the case, well, sir, you will not be getting one. Because I don't believe that army builders should be exclusives, but whatever. That's not ours. Is not the reason why, as far as I'm concerned. I think it's a jackass move, but
Absolutely,
that's just me. I don't. I think characters should be exclusives if they have to have, and they do have to have exclusives. People can bitch about no more exclusives. You know what? These retailers pay big money to Hasbro to get exclusives,
which gets
and
us
Hasbro,
toys.
what?
Which gets us toys.
Right. If these retailers were not willing to cough up cash and give it to Hasbro and say, "Hey, give us exclusives," some of these things would never be seen in the stores.
Agreed.
We might not see a mass release of barbecue, but Target wanted it, so we're getting it. And that's that. So I don't mind. Yeah, the availability of the exclusive sucks, but I'm wondering why we haven't seen a Walgreens exclusive yet. Star Wars and
question.
Marvel Legends, they have Walgreens exclusives. You have some of them.
Yeah, they've been really big on getting Iron Man exclusives for some.
Yeah, and they had
Iron Man
what?
at 2020 and the Silver Centurion were both Walmart's, and the Doctor Doom Iron Man were both. All three of those were Walgreens exclusives.
And Walgreens had an exclusive Ghost of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Obi-Wan Kenobi from the Clone Wars series with the Clone Trooper armor and the robes. But yeah, I'm surprised they haven't gotten a G.I. Joe exclusive yet. Maybe they will. Maybe. I'd be surprised if they didn't at this point, because Walgreens, they also have exclusive Transformers, there's Gundams, there's some things, but so maybe.
And people have been finding or initially had been finding the classified figures at Walgreens.
Yeah. I didn't see any there, but my Walgreens, I'm lucky if I find anything at my Walgreens. That Silver Centurion Iron Man that I found for you there, I'm glad I was there when I was, so I could get it, because otherwise I wouldn't have seen it again, because I went back to that Walgreens a couple days later. No sign of them.
Yeah, I don't think
never popped up again. Because I went back for something else, and I always take a look, and wow, their toy selection is pitiful.
It is.
But well, anyways, I suppose we should end this mindless nattering that we're doing here.
Yeah. So, like I've been saying, since I am not going to be out of the country anymore, we are planning to do this on a fairly regular basis, and we already have a couple of shows guests lined up, and I'm talking 3 shows planned already.
Yes.
Next weekend, we're going to be doing a crossover with our good friends in South Africa, the G.I. Joeberg guys.
Yep.
So look forward to that. I always enjoy talking with those guys. The weekend after that, we will have Sith Fire 30, Dayton Allen on, a good friend of ours, and always happy to have him on the show. We'll be talking about his sculpting and see if he's getting any further on his Defiant restoration project. And then coming in July, we will have one of the big pillars of the G.I. Joe community, Troy McKee, will be on the show. Troy McKee is having a product launch of his own. If you're not aware, he did quite a bit of work for the initial release on the Boss Fight figures. He's going to be having his own product coming out. He has not said what that is, even to me, but he will be making that announcement at Joe Fest, which is the last weekend in June this month. So coming in July, once after he's made that announcement, we will be having him and his crew on the show to pimp his wares, to see what he's got, and we're going to help him promote that.
Excellent.
As always, like I've said before, if you've got a product coming out, if you're a customizer and want to get more exposure, you let us know, and we are more than happy to have you on the show.
Yes. I know of Troy McKee, a friend of mine on Facebook. He is a pillar of the G.I. Joe online community. I've never actually met him.
I've met him once.
Awesome.
He actually lives here in Colorado.
Oh, that's cool.
So we did a G.I. Joe meetup. I was still living in Poncha Springs, so that would have been 2006, 2007-ish.
As I say, not exactly recent.
No, it was before I went to Afghanistan, so that was 2006, 2007. And I met him then. Really nice guy, extremely knowledgeable about G.I. Joe, and very talented.
I know some trivia, but I'm pretty sure his knowledge way outshines mine. So I'm looking forward to getting a chance to talk to him. So
plus, I'm still trying to. I haven't had a chance to talk to him, but I'm still trying to get Richard Whipple from Think Tank Toys on the show. Because he's also a good friend, a fantastic customizer, and I would love to get him on.
And I'm trying to get KR Customs arranged KR Customs on the show too.
Four we have lined up because he's already said he'll be on the show. So
we got some good stuff in the pipeline, folks.
Absolutely. So this is going to be a regular thing. I mean, we're going to do this. We've got this planned out so far that I actually took the time to make a new logo for our show.
I love that, by the way.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That came out.
That's because he took one of our photos that we got at Mile High Comics with a Nick Fury cardboard stand-up, and he made a podcast logo for us. I love it. So,
yep, that came out pretty good. So, as always, please do that fun social media stuff. Like, share, subscribe, comment below. I do get back to everybody's comments. It might take a little bit, but since I'm home, I have a lot more time to do that. If there's people that you'd like to see on the show, or if you want to be on the show yourself, comment below. Hit us up on Facebook. Both JD and I are on Facebook. You can message me also on my customizing page, which is Go Figure Customs by Hawkeye. And just let us know who you want to see on the show and if you want to be on the show yourself, and we will make it happen.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.